Historic 50-piece by Steph Curry, career high in the playoffs. And before I start my rant here and start breaking this game down, I want to say one thing about those Kings. Yo, they should not hold their head low whatsoever. They should hold their heads very high because these kids have no playoff experience. You have very little playoff experience. Kevin Herter played 1 year with the Hawks. I think what's the bonus? I think did he ever make the playoffs? I think they did. I'm not sure with Indiana. The only one that had a lot of playoff experience there has been Barnes because he played in three different finals because he played with the Golden State Warriors. This team came out of nowhere with a 3 seed. They took the defending champs and a bunch of Hall of Famers to Game 7. Get it? I know Golden State is not a legit 6 because they were banged up most of the year. They went up 2-0. Man, they punched them in the mouth. They took them to the limit. Nothing to be ashamed of by the Kings. That team has such a bright future. They just need to keep adding the pieces what they need to shore up, man. But they could be the team that they're going to have to kiss their ass in the West next year as LeBron is on his way out with the Lakers. Steph gets older. So does Clay. Look, we saw what John Morant disappeared against LeBron James and the Lakers, lost the last game by 7 points, by 40 points. Again, at the end of the day, this team has a lot of promise. The ceiling is high. They got to study the Aaron Fox, who was to me the second most clutch player in these playoffs after Jimmy Butler. All right. The Domantas Sabonis, man, this guy is a workhorse. This is a guy that you could build around. Man, I really love that kid. Murray, the rookie, I forget his name. Another good piece to work around. They just need to keep adding the right pieces to this team. And they got a nice nucleus. And I think they'll be back next year. Watch out. I know they came out of nowhere this year, but they have nothing to be ashamed of. Keep your heads high, Kings, because you guys are going to be a problem in the West. That team is going to be nasty. It's going to be dangerous. It's not going to be a fluke that they will be back in the playoffs, probably in the top 3 seeds again next year. Steph Curry. Right now, there has to be no argument. What he did last year, winning the championship on his own, he's had some legendary games. He has the 4 championships, the greatest shooter of all time. He is now moving into the level of GOATness, honestly. 50-point game to close out a game 7. Brought this team back against a really, really good Kings team from being down 0-2. I mean, he was just today was Steph was in his bag and at a different level, man. Whether he shot 7 for 18 from the field, from 3, I'm sorry, from beyond the arc. But he was taking the ball to the rock and making some circus shots time after time and hitting that dagger over and over again in the King's stomach, man. 35-23 in the third quarter, 29-19 in the fourth quarter. It was history. Vintage, clutch, GOAT performance by Steph. In addition, Kevin Looney has come up after Draymond Green was suspended. Came on Looney, dropped a 20 plus rebound game. Had a second 20 plus rebound game right now. 11 points, 21 boards. He's been huge, and you need those. It's not so much just scoring, you need the rebounding. Wiggins had a solid game, 17 points, 7 rebounds. Clay struggled. Steph carried the team because after Wiggins with 17, Clay shot 4 for 19, 2 for 10 from beyond the arc. That's it. He was having a rough game. It was Steph in the second half. Just picked him up, put him on his back, over. Because look, the bench did not do well. I mean, Poole has been struggling in this whole entire playoff. 8 points in 19 minutes. This is the guy that was the difference last year. A difference maker coming off the bench. All right. Moody, 15 minutes and 5 points. That's it. DiVincenzo, nowhere to be found. Gary Payton, the second, who's supposed to be a defensive catalyst right here, has not been able to do jack shit. All right. It was all Steph with that 50 bomb and completely annihilated the Kings. They shot 32%, hit 15 threes. Overall, hit more field goals. All right. They hit 43 as opposed to 36. They shot higher from the field, higher from 3, higher from the free throw line. They killed the rebounding battle, 55-49. Wasn't a big difference, but hey, that's a net plus. This 120 to 100 doesn't make any justice. Look, Sabonis, strong game, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Man, Harrison Barnes disappeared, 14 points when you needed him the most. All right, Keegan Murray, that was a kid's name. He had himself a 10 points. He's been playing really, really solid. De'Aaron Fox, 16. This guy's been averaging over 30. And that was the story of the game, man. It was just too much of the bright lights for the Kings. They're a young team. They they're just a young team, man. They haven't been there before. The fans need to understand that a team like the Kings, who really, really overachieved this year, and again have a bright future, need to understand that they gotta get punched down in the mouth by the veteran team. It's just a rite of passage. Michael needed to do it with the Pistons. All right. Magic needed to do it as well when he was a rookie. Bird as well. You know what I mean? It was with the 76ers, Golden State in the West, LeBron of the Miami and the Celtics. It's just a rite of passage. There's teams that they're going to knock you out. They got to knock you down. You got to come back next year stronger and better. And the Kings overachieved. Honestly, I thought it was going to be like a 6 game series when the series started, but I didn't think that they were going to go up to 2-0, a lead like that. They gave the champs their best shot, and it is what it is. So the Kings need to keep their heads held high. Just game 7 was just too much for them. Too much for them. And you know what? I'm not gonna bash them because it's just nature. Golden State has been there so many times. What, in the last 7 years? This is what, 2014, 2015? This is 2015. Golden State had big game after big game after big game. This was normal for them. This was not normal for the Kings. This was the heat was turned up. And again, if you looked at the first half, the Kings being up by 2, Steph wasn't worried. He was playing flawless. He hit a 3 at one point before the half. That was like 30 feet, his usual Steph bomb. Clay hit a 4-point play. That those are the kind of the symbolism that you were like, this team was relaxed regardless of being down by a few points because they knew they were going to come back. Second half, Steph was just doing what Steph does, elevate himself and carry the team. Vintage, vintage Steph performance. That's why he is the greatest shooter of all time. He's a 4-time champion, multiple time league MVP, NBA Finals MVP. Hey, he demanded what he's supposed to do in a game 7 or in a caliber of that type of atmosphere. Nobody at this point right now in the United States, in this country, or internationally are saying the Kings suck. They blew it. No, no. Is on the other hand, they way overachieved and they played their asses off. That team never gave up. Unfortunately, you ran against the greatest shooter of all time, the greatest shooter of all time, and one of the best performers, greatest scorers and players in the history of this game. It's just what it is.